Well, hello, Gators. It is Friday, May 1st, 2020, and this is your math for today. It's May 1st already. Man, time just flies. Cannot believe that it's May 1st. That's just almost as crazy as Mr. Moore and Miss Matthews are. But anyway, let's move on to math because I'm sure that's why you guys are here. First off, I do want to say thank you to all of you that were so good in math yesterday. And luckily today's math is kind of a repeat of what we were doing yesterday. We had over 60 views on the YouTube video, so that is a good start on the learning video. So thank you again for that. Now I'm going to switch over to my iPad screen so that we can look to see what we are doing in math today. First off, I'm actually needing to change my background. Hold on now. Let me get that changed. There we go. And it's not changing. I don't know what is going on. Oh, I see what it is. My computer is being crazy. It's playing tricks on me. And it's boom. Oh no, now the iPad went away. There we go. How about that? My bad. Anyway, here is our math for today. First off, for the daily math practice, yesterday we added. Today we are going to subtract up to the hundreds place. Number 2, we are doing some division. Number 3, which is heavier, 1,000 milligrams or 10 grams. You want to look back at your conversion charts that we did right before this distance learning to be able to solve that one a little easier. Number 4, this is going to look really familiar because it's exactly what the math is that we're doing today, actually. So if you don't understand number 4 right now, you will after a little bit. And then number 5, we're dealing with some cooking with some different measurements. And we go down to our daily word problem. It's saying that last year, Isabel saved $328.40 from babysitting. She spent 1/10 of the money on a mini backpack. Number 1, how much did she spend? And number 2, how much money did she have left? So you want to think back as to how we can figure out what 1/10 of that $328.40 is. So I'm going to switch over back to the default screen as I switch my iPad to our PowerPoint of the day. And again, thank you for all your guys' hard work yesterday. And I want to make sure that today you guys are doing just as hard a work as you guys did yesterday. It is really important that we do that in order to maintain the learning throughout this time. Now my iPad is being silly and I do got my iPad. Oh, what? Look at that. You can see straight through my iPad. That's kind of crazy. But where am I? It's a magic trick. It's playing tricks on you guys. It's being silly. Anyway, let's get started on our math now that it is uploaded. And today we are looking at solving multiplication and division equations. Now, yesterday we solved the addition and subtraction equations, but today we're going to keep going with that same idea. Our goal for today is, again, to solve these. So as we look at this, it says Keith's Scoutmaster is buying model cars for his troop. The cars are sold by the case. How many cases should the Scoutmaster buy for 32 boys? So if there are 4 cars in each case, we have 32 scouts. How many is he going to need to buy? That's the question we're looking at. So first off, here is a design or a diagram. Now yesterday, if you guys had questions on design a diagram, well, there's a diagram for you and how it could look. It is saying to let C equal the number of cases needed. Now also remember, C is a variable, and it's showing that we need 32 cars total. There are 4 per case, so we need to figure out how many cases will be needed. So the number sentence we could do is 4C equals 32. What that is saying is that 4 times C, 4 times cases, equals 32. Now, whenever you have these next to each other, so this 4c like this, what that actually means is 4 times c. So when you see those next to each other, just know that that means multiplication. And the other way you can think about this is 4 times what equals 32. So one way that we can look at this is by moving on here, where they actually divided by 4. So that's what this is right here. They divided by 4 on each side. Now remember, when you do the opposites, these are going to cancel out, and it's going to leave the c by itself. 32 divided by 4 is 8, so therefore the answer is 8, and the Scoutmaster would need to buy 8 cases of cars. So again, we're doing the inverse operation. And let's see here. The first multiplication, or the first property we're looking at today, is that the multiplication property of equality. It's saying that you can multiply both sides of an equation by the same non-zero number, and the sides will remain equal. So remember yesterday when we were adding by a certain amount on each side? That is the same idea. When we multiply by the same number on each side, it's going to still remain equal. And opposite, or here's the example of that, if we were to times both sides by 2 right here, then it would still equal the same thing. Now, the opposite is the division property of equality, which is saying that you can divide both sides of an equation by the same non-zero number and the sides will remain equal. And the example here is if we were to divide both sides by 5, they would still remain equal. So 6 times 5 is 30. 30 equals 30. So therefore, those are equal. Now over here, we divided both by 5. And they are still going to be equal. So 6 times 5 is 30. 30 divided by 5 is 6. 30 divided by 5 is 6. So therefore, 6 is equal to 6. And again, just like we did yesterday, operations that undo each other are inverse operations. Multiplication and division have an inverse relationship. Another way that we can remember to do the inverse operation is, or another word I should say, is opposite. So addition is opposite subtraction, multiplication is opposite division. So inverse is another way to say opposite. Now let's look at a couple of these here. So let's focus in on number 1. So it's saying 24 times n equals 120. Remember again, that's saying that 24 times what equals 120. So to solve this, we actually want to divide it by 24 on each side. And we're going to be left with n equals something. So we actually have to take that 120 and divide it by 24. See, 24 times 2 is going to be 48. And we can do that again. We are going to get, let's see, 48 plus 48, we're going to get 96. So that's 4. 5 would be 120. So let's just check that. 24 times 5. 5 times 4 is 20. 5 times 2 is 10 plus 2 is 120, so yes, it is going to be 5. We have no remainder, so therefore n is going to equal 5. Now remember, we want to show our answer like this, with the variable equals the next number. Now in the next one, this is some weird one. We're saying b over 7. What does that mean? Well, actually, if you remember back to our fractions, b over 7 is actually a division problem. So this here is the same as b divided by 7 equals 42. So what divided by 7 is going to be 42? Now, we're looking at division. So what is the inverse of division? Multiplication. So we're actually going to times each side by 7. And these are going to cancel out. So we're going to be left with b equals something. 7 times 2 is 14. Carry the 1. 7 times 4 is 28. Plus 1 is 29. So therefore, b is going to equal 294. 4. So hopefully that made a little bit more sense to you. Now, if you did really good yesterday, you're going to do really good today. I promise you that. So your assignment today is 3 through 6. You are going to use the inverse operations and a property of equality to solve these. And then we are going to have some more practice problems and word problems. Now we want to make sure, even though they're not on here, but it is important that actually that might not even need to be on here because it wasn't put on there. But if there are some questions that are not put on my video, it doesn't mean that you don't have to do them. It just means that I didn't go over them with you. You do still need to do them. But that is it for the math today. I do appreciate all your guys' hard work. Remember that if you do need help, to watch this video first, try it, and then reach out to your teacher for help. And if your teacher's unable to help you, then you can contact me after that. We want to make sure that you are following the directions. Remember, on these ones here, where they are the story problems, you do need to answer those incomplete sentences. So make sure you are using our tools that we have with RACE to be able to solve those correctly. But that is it for math today. I appreciate you guys and everything that you are doing. And there's always this saying that I always just keep forgetting. Oh, that's right. Remember, as always, it's great to be a Gator.